Welcome back to SCOP. I am Scoper SILAS Atefo. Thank you for watching my last video on the grassroots movement organization of SCOP. For those of you who have all watched the video and have sent me questions or sent me text messages asking for some questions, I've actually attempted answers to your questions, and most of you, for the most part, have been satisfied. But for those who are out there who haven't had the chance to speak to me one-on-one or to speak to any other scoper, I would like to make this video to give you all clarifications on some of the questions that others who reach out to me have been asking. I want to thank those of you in your dozens and scores who have also taken the opportunity to become members or would-be members of SCOP. Now, some of the questions that were asked, like for instance, a lot of questions that were asked was, is SCOP a replacement of the IG? Does SCOP have a hidden agenda to somehow take over the interim government of the Federal Republic of Ambazonia? There is a straight answer to that question, and that very straight answer is a no. SCOP has no intention of governance. SCOP is not a government, and SCOP does not intend to govern the people of Ambazonia. SCOP is only there to mobilize the people around initiatives that promote their well-being and living. And the best way to do this is through everyone participating in the actions that directly affect their lives. So how best can we do this? By rather than coming together in some kind of synergizing our problems so that we can effectively solve them. That is the whole agenda of SCOP. Bringing common problems and liaising with one another to find immediate solutions to those problems. Government business is government business, and the government is there to take care of all of us, SCOP included. Now, others have asked me if SCOP is part of the IG, or if the IG has endorsed SCOP. We must understand that this is a government in the interim, and it is focused on a lot of different issues. We who created this government, we who support this government, we, the people of Ambazonia, whose government is the interim government of the Federal Republic of Ambazonia, we owe the government our duties to make sure that we respect the government, and we also promote activities that will assist us as a people, as well as take away some of the burden from government. As you all know, our government doesn't have the resources at the moment to reach out to everybody, to come to your home and take care of your sick child, or to take care of your personal issues. Or some of the problems that we all face cannot even be channeled through to the government. We all know that this is still a young government and without all the necessary tools of governance. So it is by all of us working in a synergy, some kind of rapid response mechanism that SCOP is bringing through this grassroots movement, where we can all feel each other's problems and we can all react similarly if we have a common problem. So that is how SCOP comes in to assist the government. It is not an endorsement of the government. It is not part of the government. It is for the government to see the activities of SCOP and guide whatever they think they can guide it, if they so desire, or promote certain aspects of the organization, like every other organization anywhere in the world, to help achieve the business of welfare that every citizen deserve. So SCOP, the IG has not yet endorsed SCOP. That doesn't mean SCOP doesn't exist. SCOP is there, and SCOP is there to help the people who are in need. SCOP is not a part of the interim government. Others thought that maybe SCOP is a branch, or others misunderstood the explanation that SCOP was some kind of a branch or a department of the interim government. That's not true. SCOP is an organization on its own, which is promoting activities promoting actions that will enhance the well-being of the people of Ambazonia. Now, not everyone in Ambazonia is a member of SCCOP or will be a member of SCCOP. If all the 8 million people could be, so be it. It would be nice. But SCCOP is a member-based organization. So there is no way that SCCOP can replace the interim government or SCCOP will take over the interim government. This is an initiative to enhance the lives and well-being of the people. Now, some others have asked me, why not? This is such a great initiative. We love it. But at this moment, why don't we just hand over SCCOP to the interim government to manage? I would say if this were a regular government, a well-seated government in Buea, where everything was working with all the tools of government in place, yet as well as SCCOP would have still been existing, or SCCOP would still be existing, government will equally probably be carrying some of the same initiative that SCCOP is undergoing, that SCCOP is carrying as well. For instance, in every government you have government institutions which carry out actions that deal with the welfare of the people, say hospitals, water, but we still have other private initiatives which goes further to enhance a living and the lives of the people. So SCCOP is an organization on its own seeking to promote the well-being of every Ambazonian. Now, a few others have asked me the question, why join SCCOP at this time? Why join SCCOP? Let me take two initiatives of SCCOP and help use that to give those of you who have similar questions the very first initiative that I would like to use to give you reasons to join SCCOP or to support SCCOP actions or to become a member so that you can benefit or also help others benefit by the actions that you will be carrying. I will take, for instance, this project, the SCCOP project of the Samsoya Center for Human Rights and Democracy. We all have witnessed the different kinds of human rights abuses, and our people face them in so many different ways already. The Samsoya Center for Human Rights and Democracy that already exists, which is a SCCOP initiative, is there to record and document all the human rights abuses in every different areas. This is a private initiative. So as this human rights abuses are being documented, there will come a time when cases will be filed. The government will push other actions against the perpetrators of this violence and human rights abuses against our people, and there will be other private initiatives that will be pushing forward. It is important that we have mechanisms in place that are documenting this and probably already putting legal strategies in place so that immediately we get to Buea, or even before we get to Buea, litigations may even start, if depending on where these cases fall. If it falls within a jurisdiction that can be handled as an international issue, we must not necessarily get to Buea before litigations begin. So we will as well not ask the government to stop my trip to Buea right now and start to litigate on some of those issues. That will not be wise for us to expect our government to dive into issues of that nature at the moment. But wouldn't it help if there's a private initiative at the corner that is doing the same thing? Now, our people have been fleeing from the genocide by La République du Cameroon and moving into other countries. These citizens who are fleeing into other countries also need legal backing wherever they go. They need their status to be legitimized, and these are all issues that in a wartime for a young government like ours, we cannot commit such actions solely in the hands of the government. So a private initiative with an organization like SCOP, the Southern Cameroonian Congress of the People, is the great way to go. That is why SCOP have decided to create this Southern Cameroon Ambazonian Exile Forum, where citizens of Ambazonia who find themselves in other parts of the world by force due to the genocide and war that is ongoing in our homeland can find legal support to get themselves situated. It is not always easy for those of us, especially some of us who have been out of Ambazonia before now, and probably we arrived in some of the places that we find ourselves today through very, very scrupulous means. It takes quite a lot to settle a migrant, and the help of lawyers are always very necessary to get these things done correctly. Now, if we had our government in place, this would be a great initiative to be looking into our embassies and trying to get support from our embassies. But as you know, our government has not been recognized yet. So our embassies at the moment cannot effectively back our refugees as ambassadors. They have their jurisdiction on certain lobbying that they can do, but they as ambassadors, the necessary government tools and means are not at their disposal. But it can be very effective for an organization like SCOP to come in and give that push, assisting our people and creating a better living for our people. So having this Southern Cameroonian Ambazonian Exile Forum is another great reason to join SCOP. It's another great reason to support the idea of SCOP. There are most of you who back there, you call me every day. The situation back here is so crazy. I want to move. I want to leave. The Southern Cameroonian Ambazonian Exile Forum is there to research and propose means to citizens who find themselves in such circumstances to get a way out. So those of you in similar situations, or you know someone in a similar situations, SCOP is the way to go. Find a way to contact SCOP and support this initiative. Become a member so that such benefits can be yours. It can be yours. Now there is one last issue that some of you who watch my video, who understood all what SCOP was about, and the videos of other scopers. Some have asked me the question. Some have said, "Oh, Silas, this is such a great idea. We love this idea. As a matter of fact, it is exciting. But I have just one problem. Do you know that the interim government banned Comrade Milan, and Comrade Milan is a member of SCOP?" I will answer this on my personal level and not on a SCOP position. Comrade Milan is a Southern Cameroonian Ambazonian just like you. He needs the protection of SCOP. Comrade Milan is on exile like all of us. He needs the Southern Cameroonian Ambazonian Exile Forum to defend him, to support him, just like anyone who is a member. So Comrade Milan, just like every other Southern Cameroonian Ambazonian who is welcome into SCOP, who is running away from the atrocities of La République du Cameroon, find refuge in SCOP. Everybody can find their refuge in SCOP. We are not a discriminatory organization, as long as any person who is seeking justice, they can find a place in SCOP. So Comrade Milan is a member of SCOP and not the owner of SCOP. SCOP is an initiative that came about from a group of persons, myself included, and we put together this initiative, and it is a work in progress. A lot has been put in place, but you watching out there, bring that great idea and add it to SCCOP. Bring that great idea within the boundaries of SCCOP, which is not governance. Anything that is governance, if it is ground action, whatever, take that to the interim government. If it is how ghost towns are managed, what laws are being passed, who is calling on our people to put an embargo on whatever, that is not the business of SCCOP. How government will function depends solely on the interim government. And if the interim government calls for a ghost town tomorrow, SCCOP, with its mechanism of grassroots mobilization, will make sure that every SCCOPer anywhere in the world promotes this agenda and make sure that our people respect that ghost town or the call made by our interim government, because that is how together we make Ambazonia stronger. So that will be that about Comrade Milan. Whatever links the interim government doesn't want to have with him, that is between him and the interim government. SCCOP is a private initiative, an organization open to everybody running away from injustice and seeking justice, peace, and freedom. We are for justice, we are for freedom, and we are for peace. So anybody who is looking for any of these qualities will find their home in SCCOP. Thank you again very much for watching. This is SCCOPer Silas Atefo. Thank you. Oh, remember to check on our Facebook page, get more information, keep your comments, and sign up, become a member. Get to leave a comment on Facebook and say, I want to become a member. Someone will get to you and add you to the necessary group that will help you get more information on how you can participate and what it takes to participate. There is no hidden agenda. There is no replacement of the IG. There is no endorsement yet of the IG. The IG will be watching like every other organization that is out there, probably will source from our initiative. The IG will definitely source on our initiative if they so need, and SCCOP is open to the IG for sourcing of their material for their effort and all of that. We have made that clear to the interim government that we are open to the interim government for any kind of assistance that they might need. That doesn't mean they have endorsed SCCOP, but SCCOP endorses the interim government and recognizes the interim government as the sole leadership in the interim for Ambazonia. Thank you again once more for watching. I am SCCOPer Silas Atefo.